Hello, Saint-Pierre today I'm going to be doing a recipe. It's stuffed peppers. My mix that I'm doing, I'm using rice, celery, onion, all diced up fine. I'm using ground beef and ground pork, yellow pepper, orange peppers, and red peppers because they're sweeter. I'm doing them as halves, and I'm going to add cheese to them. I put cheese inside and I put a slice on top. And this can be prepared even on the barbecue. So in summertime, you don't have to get your kitchen all hot and everything else. You can prepare things like I prepared the rice and my ground meat and my celery and onions. I did it yesterday and I let it cool down. I put it in the fridge. So today when I make them, it's very, very quick. So all I have to do is cut my peppers in half. I take out the seeds and then I'll stuff them with the cheese and the rice, meat, beef mixture. And they get baked, and you'll see in a few minutes, everybody. I'll be back in a second. Now for the peppers, I check to make sure there's no labels on them, and I rinsed them before. I slice it in half, and now I'm just going to remove the center core, which is you just reach in, pull it out carefully, and voila. Knock out the seeds. As you can see, I put some of my rice and meat mixture with the celery and onion already in a container, which I'm going to add to it some of the vegetable cocktail. Now yesterday, what I did is the celery I used, I'm going to give everybody an example. I used 3 cups of rice to roughly 2-3 kilos of ground beef and ground pork. I had 2 kilos of ground beef and I had 1 kilo of ground pork. I used 2 onions and maybe 5 to 8 stalks of celery altogether, but diced in small cubes. And what I did is in the pot, I sauteed them on the stove, and I did the beef. I let it cool down. I cooked my rice with celery also in it with some onion, and I let that cool down, then I incorporate the two. So this way, yesterday, it was prepared. I didn't add the cocktail though, and I'm gonna add some, but not too much. It's just so that it gets a little wet. And it adds a lot of flavor. Now some people like to use tomato juice. You can use tomato juice. I like vegetable cocktail. Gives me all the veggies. And when you see it's not soaking wet, something like a paste, but you don't want to over mix. You just want to incorporate the juice into all the mixture, and do it in small batches. If you see you have too much liquid, you can always add more of the rice and beef mixture. And I'm going to use this to stuff the peppers. Now I'm going to take some cheese and I'm going to put a little pieces into each of the peppers before I stuff them, and then I'm going to put a piece over it, and I'm going to show you that. Now this is the cheese that we had bought for our bagels, what we did last week in the other video. And I'm just going to add a few to each pepper. Now for the actual stuffing of the pepper, it's very simple. We're going to use a big tablespoon, I should say, and I'm going to stuff them one by one. I have my little bit of cheese, and you want to pack it in till it's like a small dome, rounded. Just like that. So some of it's going to evaporate, it's going to get absorbed, and I put it into a baking pan like this, and I'm going to continue until I've done all my peppers. Now I don't put the cheese on the top until it's almost done because I don't want it to burn and I don't want it to stick to my aluminum paper, because I'm going to put aluminum foil over this and I'm going to let them cook as they are like this. They'll get soft, they'll cook through completely. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 and we'll go from there. I'll be back in a sec. Now this recipe made me 3 pans like this, the rectangular ones. I have 1 in the oven plus 2 here, and 1 which has 4 peppers because there were 12 peppers altogether. I've taken it out of the oven and this is what it's going to look like. Now this is the one without the cheese, it's just cheese filled. And you can see the peppers get soft. Not too soft, it depends how much you like it. I cooked them for 1 hour. Now, you can put shredded cheese on top and then just put it under the broiler for a couple of minutes and you have a beautiful stuffed pepper. These ones had cheese inside. Now, if you want, like I said before, you can put it as cubes in there. You can put it as shredded cheeses or grated cheese and mix it with your meat and rice, so that it's all incorporated. Or you can just gratiner, which is you would put cheese on top and then broil it. So there you go, Saint-Pierre. Bon appétit, enjoy.